Hey, let's talk about Louisiana Tech, and then we'll move forward to Texas State, the more pressing issue. But we go back and we watch the film, and I'll tell you, saw a lot of positives when you go back and you look at the tape. And the old saying, it's never as bad as it is, never as good as it is. It was bad in a lot of ways, but I'm gonna tell you, it was a lot of good things for the fact that our rush defense held them to 138 yards total rushing. We held their running back Dixon to 56, I think, total for the game. That might be a career low for him. And so I thought our guys flew to the ball. When you go back and watch our guys, they played hard for 4 quarters. And I was real pleased by that. Give their quarterback credit. He was a very accurate passer. He's a 5th-year senior. He's been in a lot of big games, and he had some good targets. It didn't help that Troy McCullum was lost in the first quarter. And we didn't have him the rest of the game, and Brazil had to come in. Jarrell Brazil had to come in and play, and that's basically his first extensive playing time ever, because he didn't play at LSU, and then he didn't play in the JC that he was at last year, so he's really never played. And so this was his first extensive chance to get on the field, and he did some good things along with the rest of our DBs. And so we're still learning, we're still young. We got them in 3rd and long some couple times, and in first half I thought we played pretty strong defensively. I thought we kept our offense in the game again, or kept our team in the game in the first half. They had to make a 50-yard field goal. They had to make a 41-yard field goal, so we forced them to some stops and forced some long field goal attempts, and got 3 3-and-outs. And so did some good things. Offensively, we came out clicking on all cylinders like we were hoping. We wanted to get off to a fast start, and we did. Took the ball and marched down the field, and then Elijah caught the pass out of the backfield, and that was just one of the plays that we wanted to get him out in space to try to give him a chance to make plays in space, and he did. And we went up 7-0 and got a little momentum. But after that, we moved the ball a little bit, but continued to stall before we got into the red zone. So we got to improve in that, and we've just got to find some consistency at quarterback. I thought Jalen Nixon ran the ball extremely well. I think he had over 50 yards rushing, 190 passing. So he about accounted for about 250 total yards of offense. Had 9 carries, ran the option extremely effective. And you go back and look, probably could have ran the option a little bit more. Some of those options took the ball out of Elijah's hands, because those could have been handoffs or pulls. So Elijah possibly could have had 9 more carries. He only had 12. We probably would have liked for him to have a few more carries, but we did get him 6 passes out in space, and some of those were quite effective. So he had 18 touches, not counting punt returns. Also defensively, Otha Peters played extremely well. Tremaine Lightfoot played well. So we had some guys, I thought, come in and play hard and play well enough for us to win. Just as a group, as a whole, we didn't play well enough to win on the road against a football team that's a very good team. And but when he came back and we watched the film, met with our guys, couldn't be more proud of a group of guys, because right in the face of adversity, these guys are circling the wagons. Man, they know they've got a talented team. We know we have a good football team. We just hadn't shown it for 4 quarters yet. And they're anxious to keep playing and getting better. They went to practice last night, and I thought had one of the best Sunday nights that we've had. A lot of juice, a lot of energy. And I was real proud of the way they attacked practice, and because they know that we got some guys that's been in our program for a while. They know what our program's about hard work, doing the little things, and they did that last night. So I was really proud of them. Moving forward, Texas State, Coach Franchione, I got a lot of respect for Coach Franchione. He's one of the guys I sort of look up to. I get to visit with him a couple times a year at coaching conferences and Sun Belt meetings, and he's always got a word of encouragement, and I think he, was one of the best coaches that's coached the game. He's been very successful everywhere he's been, and he's doing a great job of developing a program there. And I know he's had to make a tough decision this past week, as all head coaches do from time to time. And now he's got a new defensive coordinator, his son Brad. And so that's the thing that we're a little concerned about is they've got 2 weeks to prepare for us. They've got a new defensive coordinator. What are we going to see? More of the same? Are they going to tweak what they're currently doing? Or are they going to wholesale change? That's the the million-dollar question. But nevertheless, it's a big game because it's the next game. It's at Cajun Field, and it's a new season, and that's what we're talking to our team about. Our record right now is 0-0 in the Sun Belt Conference. And last year we were in the same boat, felt about the same way. And that's really why we feel as bad as we do, is because our expectations have really changed in the last 5 years. 5-6 years ago, it'd probably just be another year. But now, with the expectations the way they are and the way we want to play and the way we want to finish, yeah, it stings and it hurts an awful lot when you don't play well and you don't win a game that you feel like you could have won or been more competitive in. And so that's why it stings a little bit more. But nevertheless, they're excited about getting the conference play, to get back at Cajun Field, where we're going to play awfully well, awfully hard, and hopefully we can get off to a great start in conference play. But we've got a good team coming in here that's going to be really probably, eyeing this one because, we've won 2 in a row against those guys, and trust me, I'm sure they want to get some of that back. So it'll be quite a challenge. They've got a good football team. So with that, we'll open up any questions.
Coach, you said at the beginning of the season that you were trying to, with the changes on the defensive staff, trying to find that identity, what your defense would be, find that identity. On offense now, do you think of anything coming out of this Tech game that maybe you found your identity with Jalen back there, knowing that, there's certain things he does effectively and did effectively in the Tech game, and maybe that's who you're going to be offensively going forward, because that's what you're effectively doing.
Well, here's the thing about our offense, and I told somebody yesterday, our offensive coaches have put an offense on the field the last 4 years. In the last 4 years, we've averaged 35 points a game. So they hadn't forgot how to coach football in the last 6 months. And so they're going to get it fixed. But getting back to Jalen, if you look at the style that we've had in the last 2 years, that's what we've had, is a quarterback that could run the option, keep people honest, could throw the play action effectively. I thought Jalen ran the ball strong. I thought he missed a couple of passes that he would even tell you that he normally would hit. That shoulder still wasn't 100% of the night, so I got to give him credit on that. He fought through some shoulder pain. Threw the ball, some really nice shots, and a few that he wished he could have made a little better throw. But we're going to evaluate that this week. I'm getting to the point, and I'm sure you guys are too, because I'm not a musical chair type quarterback. I want to get to a guy, get some consistency at practice especially, and so we know going into the game, here's our game plan. This is what we're going to do, and not, well, if it's this quarterback, we're going to do this. If this quarterback, we're going to do that. So you're really preparing for a little more than you normally would prepare for, because both quarterbacks are a little bit different. And so we'll see this week. We got to see how Jalen comes back. He looked good last night. See how he comes back on Tuesday. And but from all indications, the way he looked last night, he'll be 100% if he gets to call on Saturday.
Do you think that kind of musical chair at quarterback has maybe contributed a little bit to that slow start offensively?
Maybe so. That's the key. It's not easy. If it was easy, every team would go 12-0 when they had a new quarterback. And it's you've got to give kids that do the right things, that perform well in practice. You got to give them opportunities. Both those guys have been lights out in scrimmages, lights out in practice. They're leaders. Team believes in both of them, and you got to get them in game, live situations against live bullets, and see how they perform. And I think we're starting to see some things from both of them, and hopefully to the point where we can make a decision.
Coach, the fact that Jalen started the second half with 7 points, is that, I'm tired of doing the quarterback shuffle, and that you decided who that one is? Or?
Well, during that game, during that game, because I felt like we moved the ball a little bit. It wasn't the fact we weren't moving it, we just weren't putting it in the end zone. In the past, we were really stagnant a little bit and just weren't moving. I felt like we had some things going a little bit. If we could just make a few more plays. And if you go back and look at the game, they threw a corner out and their wide receiver makes a diving toe touch. That's making plays, and that's what we've got to do as a team is make some plays like Jamal Robinson did on that 3rd and 11. He caught it at 4 yards, broke about 4 tackles. That was the challenge I had. Jamal Robinson and Elijah McGuire about stepped up making plays, and look what both those guys did. I was really proud of them. They showed that they're ready to take that next step. We're highly competitive. Now we need the rest of the team to take that step with them and continue playing hard, because good things are going to happen to us eventually. We're going to get some breaks. It's going to start coming together, and we started seeing some of that defensively the other night, and at times offensively. But to answer your question, I said, I don't want to change here at halftime. Let's come back, do it again, see if we can put it in the end zone. We did one more time, but not enough. We got to score points in college football. You've got to score points to win games.
You talked the other night about needing more big plays. Near that one series late where you went a bunch to Gary Haynes, if he kind of starts to get it, how much could he have that threat?
Gary can help us. Gary's an exciting little player, and kid loves the game of football. But he's still learning. He's still making mistakes, and it's a trust factor. And with the ball, we got to make sure we take care of the ball. We had the turnover, but man, what an exciting little player! And when we get a little more confidence in him, he will factor into the game plan. And he's a guy that's going to be an exciting player. Our freshman wideouts, we've got some of the best, I think, freshman wideouts in the country. They're going to be a really good group for the next 4 years.
Coach, how does your defensive staff prepare for a team? How does your offense prepare for a team that's got some changes on that side of the football? They've really struggled to stop people all year long. Do you talk to people and see what maybe Coach Franchione, the younger, has done in the past? Do you go ahead and you go from film and hope you can adjust? How do you go ahead and prepare for that defense?
Well, you nailed it right on the head. You've got to go back and look what he's done at previous places, and just to see if it's something similar to what they're already doing. And then, but they also they've got probably now 7 or 8 weeks invested into all these schemes that they're already working. So it may be a fact that they're just going to try to do them a little bit better, maybe minimize what they're doing. And a lot of times when you're not having a great season offensively, defensively, sometimes you can minimize what you're doing and get better at something instead of being so broad. And so if anything, that might be the approach they're taking, but man, we don't know. So you've got to prepare for an awful lot and hope that you are somewhat in the ballpark, but you got to be ready to make adjustments. If you're not, and they come out something that's totally out of the blue.
So does that mean that you've got plan A and plan B and maybe plan C just in case they do some things that, depending on, once again, the things that you've been able to learn?
Right, and you do. And what we do offensively, running the inside zone, we see a lot of looks from our defense, 3-man front, 4-man front, and you're basically going to be one of the two, either an odd or an even, but with some variations of an odd and an even. So, if we ran a lot of different run schemes, it'd be maybe more difficult, but when you're an inside zone team and that's what you major in, it's still about gap control. It's, whether you're 3 down or 4 down. So hopefully we've seen a lot of different looks that we should be able to prepare for. But the back end, what are they going to do on the back end with the coverage? Is it going to be all man? Is it going to be zone? So some of those things could factor in, and we got to be ready to adjust and hopefully have a good idea of what we think they're going to do.
The experience of playing those Tuesday games, you feel like you have a good routine nailed down now for how to get guys to treat a Thursday like a Tuesday and so on and so forth?
Yeah. You talking about this week or in 2 weeks?
Well,
yeah.
You'll play on Tuesday, right?
No. Yeah, it's the next week. Arkansas State.
I'm totally off that.
Okay, all right. You almost had me right there. I'm thinking like, I better go back and change the practice schedule. I was like, whoa.
I asked Dunbar about it and nobody said a damn thing.
I've had to call all the players and get them over here because today would be a.
Everybody's just like,
for next week.
Yeah.
I thought
Boy, you really had me scared there for a second.
How's the offensive line playing right now in your eyes?
Offensive line's playing really well. I thought up front that we really did a nice job against a really good defensive line. Vernon Butler and Dora, those two guys they had, they're really good players now. They're going to be NFL players. And I thought that our offensive line came off the ball physical, played awfully well. Donovan Williams played well too. Was one of our best guys up front, Michael Quave. And you saw the way we came out and ran the ball early, effectively, and probably should have stuck with it a little bit more, even though we did, but I still thought we could have gave it to Elijah a couple more times, but they did good.
Did the zone blitz kind of confuse
confuse Jalen? It looked sometimes he maybe got rid of the ball when
they
was coming and it did.
Yeah, they did a good job with their pressures. A couple of times he had some pressure in his face a little bit and threw it a little before he really wanted to throw the football, and sort of guessed a couple of times. And we got to be a little firmer sometimes at the point of attack. But he got hurried a little bit, and we got to give him a little more time. And but I tell you, he can throw the ball when his shoulder's good and when he's got a little time. He's pretty effective.
Can you talk about that decision? You were going to go for the 4th down conversion, 4th and 2 in your own territory before half, and then Jalen called the timeout, and you decided not.
Yeah, we were fixing to run a play to go for it right there. We felt like we had a good play, and Jalen didn't like a look that he saw. So when he called timeout, decided to punt it because they're going to get over there and talk about it, scheme it up on the play we had called because they saw the formation. And so we were backed up at that time. So I said, let's go ahead and punt it out of here. If he hadn't called timeout, we had a play we felt like was going to be good. But he didn't. He just didn't like the look he was getting and called timeout, and which is his prerogative. I'd rather him call timeout than make a mistake right there. So, but we decided to go ahead and punt it out.
What y'all have seen the last 2 weeks, Akron, they had Cody Grice, all MAC, nose tackle. You got Butler on Louisiana Tech's line. Just by default, do you feel like maybe you're hoping maybe things will be kind of easier going up the middle this week compared to what y'all dealt with?
I don't know. It seems like everybody these days has got 1 or 2 really good defensive linemen. And you better have some defensive linemen to have a chance. You better have a D-line, an O-line, and a quarterback. And we feel like that they're solid up front, Texas State too. So, but our offensive line, they're probably right now the strongest unit on our team right now. That's working the most with the most cohesion and playing the most physical.
Texas State can score it. Are you worried about getting into a shootout with these guys?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I'd love to sort of get into a shootout because that means we're going to be in the game and we're scoring points. I got a lot of faith in our defense, and I got a lot of faith in our offense. Once we get rolling, just like we did last year, we started a little bit slow last year. We got rolling offensively, and one of these quarterbacks are going to get into a rhythm because they're going to get more practice, and we're going to get it going. We got too many good players, and defensively, I love what we're doing. We know what we're doing right there. We're stopping the run, and some guys are getting better quickly in the back end. But I'm anxious for our guys to have some success. I think once they do, that's going to help build some confidence.
Coach, considering what the success you've had the last 2 years against Texas State and Coach Francione, knowing your zone read offense and knowing what type of game number 15 had against them last year, I would imagine that you guys don't expect anything different than him trying to come out and play maybe that 7-8 in the box like any of the other teams you played so far this year and trying to stop that.
Well, you would think so, because that's what we want to do is run the ball. We want to get Elijah the ball, and so you can count on them trying to stop the run, and that's what you got to do if you're a good defensive team, and that's, to win games, you got to stop the run first. And the old philosophy: stop the run, control the pass, and so. That's one thing we're expecting them to try to do.
Coach, quarterbacks usually catch the brunt of the blame. How much help do you think they've been getting from your receivers right now?
You know what? I thought the other night a lot. Jamal Robinson, great play. Elijah McGuire takes a short pass and makes a big play out of it. And so I thought they got a lot more help the other night. And as a team, I thought they're getting more help. We just got to execute a little bit better. You go back and you look at the film, and it's one of those. It's one of those things where, boy, just a little bit here or just a little bit here, things could be different on that play. And if they're different on that play, it could be different on that drive. If it's different on that drive, it could be different in that quarter or that game. And so, we're close. And so, we've got too much good football ahead of us. It's no reason to press the panic button. It's just we just got to press the stay the course button. And so too many people, as soon as you lose, you don't have a little success early, they want to veer off course. You might adjust to sail, but you stay the course. And so we're definitely doing that.
At least from my vantage point, it seemed like you guys maybe didn't bring as much pressure defensively this past weekend. Was that
by design against Tech, or is that something maybe the defense is morphing into?
No, that's a little bit by design. We showed a lot of pressure, and then at the snap, we would back out. So that's what you want to do, is you want to bring, and for us, you want to bring enough pressure where the threat of pressure is always there. But then they don't know, are you still coming, or to snap, you're backing out. That's the philosophy of teams that bring pressure and try to mix and marry man coverage with zone coverage.
The turnover battle, I know in the last 2 games, and I remember, so many correlations between last year and this year right now. Have the opportunities been there for y'all to, I know I've been watching on TV and watching the games, but have y'all been missing opportunities to get that turnover?
We have. They dropped a punt on their own 7-yard line, and our center did a great job. Jacob Guidry sprinted down the field. Guy drops it, and he dives on it, and they both sort of die at the same time. They recover. Those are the type of breaks that eventually, the law of averages, if they hold true, we'll get a couple, and they'll start coming our way. But we're making some. We just got to recover them. We had a big who was it, Lightfoot, knocked a pass down that very easily, we could have had a chance to pick that one off. So we got our hands on a lot more. And if you're getting your hands on a lot more balls, then the law of averages, you're going to start getting some of those. They're not always going to bounce back toward them. So we're going to get there, and I have no doubt about it. We just got to keep working.
Seems like you guys were kind of working behind the sticks a lot against Tech. How do you make sure that you're setting yourself up for those manageable? That's
a great point, because that's the thing we talked about. First thing in our offensive staff meeting post-game was our 3rd and longs. Well, we were in 3rd and long way too much. When we were in 4th and 3, 3rd and 3 or less, we converted 100% of the time. But we were in 3rd and 7 or more. I think we were 1 out of 6. 1 out of 7, and the one that was 1 out of 7 was Jamal breaking about 3 tackles. So when we're 3rd and short, man, we know how to get 3rd and shorts. It's just not a lot of magical plays for 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10. Those are much more difficult.
Do you set yourself up for that by, because it seemed like y'all were trying to throw out on the perimeter a lot on 1st down and try to catch them out there. Is it maybe just a sequence thing where you figure out how to kind of run?
Well, yeah, and it's sort of pick your poison. You want to get the ball on the perimeter to some talented wideouts, because you feel like you got some matchups, and you want to get the ball to Jamal, and you want to keep them off balance. And really, when we're expecting you to run the ball on 1st down, it's great down for play action. But if you're not successful, then now you're 2nd and 10, and then now you're a little bit behind the sticks. Then you get 4 yards, and it's 3rd and 6. Whereas, instead of moving the chains, but you gotta take some chances, and we had some guys open, and we collected a few of them, but we've got to be a little more efficient when we're throwing the ball in play action on 1st down.
You and the coaching staff still waiting on Oath Peters to have a breakout game or a big play, something like that?
Yeah, made some big plays, but I tell you, Oath Peters played pretty sound. I tell you, he was physical. He's getting better and better by the day, and just getting into his own a little bit, and so. I think here at the right time as we get into conference play.
You get back McCullum, and then I think a couple of the other ones were Watson and Donovan Williams. I think went out at the end. And,
yeah, Donovan. We expect Donovan back. Darzell Washington will be back this week. How much he's going to play, don't know. He ain't lined up now for quite a while, but he's going to be available. Troy McCullum is going to be questionable. But from every indication last night, it was pretty promising that he's going to be pretty effective. And then Lightfoot and Watson should be fine. Mm-hmm.
Gerald mentioned a little earlier the similarities of last year. Is it a little easier to keep your guys focused, even though it's 1-3, since you had the evidence of last year, still be able to really achieve all the goals you want to do?
Yeah, no question. And they know we've done this before. We started 1-3 last year, and then we reeled off, if I'm not mistaken, 6 in a row or 7. And had a chance to win the conference championship. And so I just got a lot of confidence in these guys. And they know they've been here before, and they've seen the footprint. They've seen the map on how to do it. And it's continued to come to work. It's pulled together as a team. It's some guys start stepping up, playing a little bit better. And so I have all the confidence in the world of this football team.
How's Darzell Washington coming along?
Good. just he just hadn't played in a while. So we'll see. But he's a great pass rusher. So I hope we can.
Health-wise, is he going to be ready?
Yeah, he's going to play.
Carl Michael mentioned kind of the one thing the defensive line would like to do is get more of that pass rush. It's the one thing that he feels like the defense is missing. How big of a boon can Darzil be towards?
Well, that's a big part of it. He was our pass rush guy. We've got a lot of guys. We're great at stopping the runs. We're big and we're strong. Boy, we can establish a new line of scrimmage. We can hold our gap. We're just not built in the pass rush capacity with some of our guys. And he's a guy that can really bring that off the edge. And so anxious to see how he does.
With the transition Texas State is going through on defense, the 4 opponents y'all have dealt with, all from different conferences, when you talk about we've got to be ready for pretty much anything from them, your first 4 games, did that do a good job of getting y'all ready for anything or a lot of different things?
Well, we saw a lot of different things. Just like any time that you play 4 different people, you're always going to see a lot of different looks. And what we do on defense is pretty simple. And so that's the thing that's good about what we do. We're pretty simple, and hopefully we can adjust.
How about the turnover ratio? It's
not good. That's a critical part of it, Bobby. It's we just got to not only we got to take care of the ball, we got to, like we mentioned earlier, we got to create some turnovers. And that's something we work every day. And like I said, they're coming. We just got to keep punching, keep plugging, keep getting some balls out. And eventually, we'll get on them. But that's something we work and stress every day.
What is it about Tyler Jones that impresses you the most?
Well, he's a veteran. Well, now he used to be a young guy that's playing. Now he's sort of evolved into another veteran quarterback. This second or third year starting, and he can run and throw. And he's a deceiving runner. I think he runs the ball well. Can really throw the football. And I think he's an outstanding quarterback. We've seen a lot of good quarterbacks. Seems like everybody we play has got a good quarterback, and so he'll be a challenge.
We kind of talking a lot before the year about how many touches Eli will get per game. You look back at Saturday, it felt like he didn't really get the ball a lot, but he had almost 20 touches. So is that still something that's kind of difficult for you guys to manage and not get him too much, but make sure you're getting him enough?
Yeah, he's got to carry the bulk of the load. I would have liked him having maybe another 4 or 5. I'd like for him to get, in that low 20s in carries, and then still maybe about 5 balls, in some capacity, because when he catches the passes, typically they're some type of big plays or plays where he can get the ball in space. So it gives him a chance to help us. And he caught the wheel route. He caught the swing pass. So he had some pretty nice plays the other night. And we wanted to get him in space a little bit more, and we did. We would like to hit him on the run on that one wheel route, so he maybe could have done a little more with it right there. But he's effective when you get him the ball. He's more durable. I think everybody's seen that. He is. He's running the ball hard. I thought he ran the ball hard the other night.
I know you're probably not pleased with how much work he's gotten, but how pleased have you been with Stephen Coots so far?
I want to tell you, he has been, if there's been a bright spot of the first 4 games, it's been Stephen Coots. This guy is unreal. He's up until this past game before the block, he was in the top 6 in the country. And he downed 2 inside the 10, 1 on the 3, 1 on the 4 the other night, and then 2 more inside the 20. The guy has a weapon, and he works all day long on his game. He walks around campus with a football and works on his drops on the way to class. Dangest thing I've ever seen. This guy is unbelievable. So, and his mom and dad ran this past weekend from Australia, first time they'd seen him play. So I was proud for him to get to see his parents.
Coach, even with the change in defensive coordinator, I see where Texas State's last in passing. I mean, they can't fix that in 1 week, I don't think. So is there a way that we can get in a rhythm? I know you want to try to get a rhythm offensively.
Well, we would love to get in a rhythm. And, getting in a rhythm is having a little bit of success. That's how you get into a rhythm, is first down, get good 4 yards, play with good tempo, move the chains, have some success. So if we can get in a rhythm offensively, that'll help our whole team. coach might have one of y'all's jobs. Y'all ain't careful. Let me tell you. That's pretty good question. Pretty good question right there.
If Jalen Nixon didn't hurt his shoulder or re-aggravate it at the end or whatever, would he have done enough for you to say maybe ahead of time that he'd be our starter?
I don't know. I don't know. That's something we're evaluating right now. He looked really good running the ball. Missed a couple of throws that Brooks may or may not have made, but he ran the ball very effectively. And like I said, both guys are such, to me, good quarterbacks that just need some playing time. And I think either one of them with extensive playing time, either one of those guys could be very effective. But the challenge for us is we've got to pick one. Can't play with two unless we do what Monroe did 2 years ago and put two quarterbacks out there and you could roll right or roll left. I thought that was sort of a unique scheme and pretty effective. So, but you only put one on the field.
Is there a guy that the offense feels more, I don't know, has more juice with? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. I think our team has got confidence in both the quarterbacks. Brooks is one of our team captains, and so by his work ethic in the off season, I think they've got confidence in both those guys, and they just. I think they just want a guy that can get them the football so they can make plays and help their team.
Is there some sort of blueprint y'all could follow from last year for going from 1-3 to 9-4?
Yeah, it's the next game. It's let's win the first game, and that's this week, and one game at a time. New season. We're 0-0. This is like, to me, it's, NFL plays 5 games preseason, and you can lose all 5 and still win the Super Bowl. And we could have lost all 4 and still have an opportunity to win the Sun Belt Conference. And so, that's the big picture. The immediate picture and the most pressing thing is to win this first game and to win that first game and to get off to a good start in the conference. But we got a really good team. That Coach Francione, this is not his first rodeo. He'll have his team ready when they come in. And so we'll have to be prepared and play extremely well. And we need some confidence.
That first game after that 1-3 start was against the Georgia State team. Didn't have a very good year. You guys needed a last-minute touchdown to win. But then it seemed like once you got that win,
we sort of took off. Yeah, and we got a little confidence, got a little mojo. And right now for your guys to be 1-3, we got a little mojo because we've got kids that know how to win. We got kids that know how to work. That's been a part of a team that's had success that we've been a part of. And I mean, you look across the country, there's a lot of teams, that's had a lot of success that are struggling. I think Oregon has lost 2 in a row and they gave up 60 points at home. And so, I mean, it ain't easy. If it was easy, everybody'd be 12-0 somehow. But that if it was easy, maybe everybody would tie. Maybe that would, yeah. So,
Coach, when trying to figure out Texas State, are they going to just kind of tweak some things on defense or totally change up? Because it's mid-season, does that make it kind of easier to lean towards it might be tweaking things? Is it kind of hard to totally change up mid-season?
Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier. I don't know after 7 or 8 weeks, including camp, that they're just going to change up, because they're not going to change terminology. They're definitely not going to do that. So that's why they're going to still do what they do, but Brad's going to do what fits what he does, and his philosophy is still about gap control, and they're so multiple. They've got something in there they're going to keep because they do an awful lot these first few games, and so it's just what is his flavor, what's his philosophy, and we'll find out soon enough. And obviously he's a coach's son. And I've never seen too many coaches' sons that weren't outstanding coaches, and I know he'll have that defense ready, because if Coach Francione didn't think he wouldn't have made the change.
Coach, you said you want to have the starting quarterback figured out, named, rolling into conference play, and stick with it. Have
Yep.
The coaching staff figured out what the timeline is for when you want that decision made?
Well, first we want to find out if Jalen's going to be available, to make that decision. If he's not available, then that decision's going to be easy. And so it's something we're working on right now.
Coach, I like what you said earlier about staying the course and keep sailing forward. last year, talking about Georgia State, Arbuckle came in and slung it around a little bit.
Mhm.
And he was good. He could throw.
Yeah.
I was impressed. And then just hung and late in the game made the plays to win the game. And I know you're looking forward to some momentum, maybe get an interception, get some offensive rhythm, and get it started. Just stay the course.
And that, getting some turnovers would help us too. That way we get some short fields. Right now we're not getting any turnovers, so every time we're getting the ball, we're going 80 and 70 yards. So that would help, get the offense a little bit of great field position.
Coach, you guys are playing a lot of man-to-man. Are we going to see some zone? I guess both of you guys can answer this.
Yeah, we're going to do what we do. We're going to play man, but we definitely going to mix in some zone. Does that answer your question? Little man, little zone.
You got about 30 minutes, Coach? You're all right.
I'm good. Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, thanks a lot.